If you've been to any other of our other weddings, good news, we're doing this together, and Vonnie has written it out for me. Furthermore, it's evident from Caleb's excellent words, kind words, but well articulated. He gets that from his mom. I'm already off script, and she told me to not go off script. Welcome here, everybody. Good to see you all. It is truly heartwarming. I mean, I talk to more people at this time than other times I've been. It's great to see you. Thank you so much for coming.
Good job. I was kind of expecting to stand there for a while. Yeah, we're very thankful that you're all here. Thank you to the Oldemers for helping put this beautiful day together. It's been absolutely beautiful and perfect. Okay, turned 60 a couple weeks ago. Can't see. Our married life began back in 1986. We were young, we were looking forward to building a life together as new grads in our respective professions. For me, it meant leaving Ontario and moving across the country to British Columbia. But what an adventure, I was ready to embrace it. We weren't gonna have kids for 2 or 3 years because we were gonna travel and we were gonna save money, boring stuff like that. Well, sometimes plans don't always work out the way you think. And 10 months later, Joel made us parents. Joel, you've been a gift to us from that time, even though we felt pretty unprepared. We were pretty excited to meet you.
I gotta say, it was life-changing to meet you for the first time, Joel. There you were. It was a long, arduous process, you coming into this world. And I'll tell you, I'm excited for you as marriage is new, you learn a new meaning and a depth of love. We've seen different sides of you we've never seen before. But I'll tell you, if you should ever have any kids, what I went through, I think you might, is my heart just grew with love. And this is profound love, a love that I have for you and you and I still have today. But I remember, this struck me, that I was thinking of a verse that I knew off by heart. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son. And I was thinking, he's a bigger man than I am because nobody's going to take my boy. I will not give him up. I will protect him. I love him so much. And that's still today. Joel, you taught me about love through just coming into my life. I love you so much.
Back on script. We enjoyed watching you begin all of your firsts. First smile, and you have always had the best smile. First solid foods, first steps, and finally, your first words. Although you didn't talk early, when you did talk, you were always hilariously unique. One time he spotted a leather jacket flying around our house, and we had just had a conversation about them, and he said, "Hey, look at the fly coat." I thought that was so cute. He was also quite sensitive and tender. Once on a trip to visit relatives in Saskatchewan, Joel, Caleb, and Aaron were shown around the small town of Wadena and the farm where my dad was raised. At the local cemetery in Hendon, Uncle Don pointed out the graves of my grandparents, Ingvald and Olivia Ostring. Well, that was the same name as my parents had, Grandma and Grandpa Ostring. So he's looking at these graves, and on the way home, Aaron told me later he had been quite quiet. And I had stayed back at my aunt's house with little sick Benji. And Joel walked in the door, and I was sitting on the stairs with Benji, and Joel walks in with his lip trembling. And he goes, "Mom, I have terrible news for you. Your mom and dad are dead." So this little fellow carried this burden that he needed to share with me. In reality, they were very much alive, and Grandpa Elmer and Grandma Jean Ostring often came to stay with us from Toronto. Once he crawled into bed between Mom and Dad, and he announced, "It's your grandson, Joel." So Cynthia, expect a formal introduction tonight. It's your husband, Joel. Just in case there was a question.
Moving on. Speaking of Joel's tenderness and sensitivity, and if you've ever had a talk with him, you can tell that he's intensely looking at you and he can read your face. I came home one time in the early years. He was a very small boy. I was so excited. I was taking a bicycle that I just got. It was like the nicest bike I'd ever had. I was taking it out of the back of the truck, or the car. And I got it out, and there's the little guy. He's looking up at me and he says, "Daddy, are you bar-sighted?" It was his way of talking when he first learned how to talk. He would have different prefixes, like, it was Jesus and the disciples. And it was very sweet. But he was tender-hearted even at then.
He loved reading books with us. He loved watching shows, although some of them were a little intense for him. And he'd hide and watch with one eye. Some of this intensity translated into real-life situations with his siblings and at school. And we realized that Joel had some challenges to overcome. And so there were some difficult years, but we were really blessed with people to help. His grade 2 teachers here in the audience. Put your hand, Natasha. Grade 2 teacher. Woo, Natasha. And lots of supportive people giving us assistance, and he finally got a diagnosis, and that was very helpful for us to see how Joel processed the world and saw things through his eyes. Beyond that, Joel very early on developed a relationship with Jesus that has stood the test of time and has guided him through the ups and downs of life. When he was a small boy, he would tell me God had spoken to him, and I believed him. Biblical stories featured colorfully in his daily life as he would apply phrases from the stories to whatever was happening around him. One time he had built a big tower, and Caleb came crawling toward it, and he was ready to just destroy this tower Joel had created. And Joel said, "Go back to your father's sheep, Caleb." Quoting a story from the Bible.
Thanks, Caleb, for sharing something I was about to say, how he works hard at developing skills that may not come naturally, and that it is natural for him to think in ways we don't think, and we are blessed by it when we read his poetry and hear his songs. And Lord, Joel, I also encourage you along those lines, and we'll all be blessed for it. He does get good at things. He does beat me at darts, and he's really good at disc golf. Keep going.
Yeah, he's tender and compassionate as well. We've seen him give to others, even when he does not have very much to give. Guitar became one of Joel's outlets as a teenager and young adult, and oh, the songs that came from his heart and soul. I know Caleb mentioned these as well, but we actually really miss those songs, Joel, and we'd like you to write some more and keep going with that. They were really good. I would hum them around the house. They were pretty good. Back in the day, now where's my page? Sorry, believe it or not, this is the scaled down version, but many of the songs he wrote were similar to popular songs of the day about love and life, and we often wondered, who would Joel's special love be when he was singing these songs? And there was one in particular called One in a Million, and we were, who would be Joel's true one in a million?
In 2022, the name Cynthia came up, and life has never been the same. She truly is that one in a million for Joel. For example, it was a bit awkward. You talk about her all the time, and we're trying to have a straight conversation, but you can see the wheels turning in his head. He's processing, okay, well, with me and Cynthia, this and that. And so, for example, I made a trip together with Joel. We did a trip to play disc golf in Winnipeg. And so we played a number of courses, and me, my brother Aiden, and Karen, we were playing the course. We're looking back. Joel was just behind us, and he can out-throw us. He can go throw so far. And so we're looking back and waiting for him to throw. And then he does this throw, and he just whips that thing way out there and very accurate toward the basket. And we're like, wow, that was amazing. And Joel comes walking up, and he's just got this, ear-to-ear smile. He's really happy with himself. Go, oh, that was amazing, Joel. Hey, you guys want to know what I was thinking at that time? Yeah, sure. I was just thinking, I was pretending that Cynthia was watching me when I threw it. We're in Winnipeg.
He wants to impress you, Cynthia. Over the last couple of years, we've really loved getting to know Cynthia. At various family functions, game times, and dinners. And we've experienced her amazing cooking. I don't often remember or talk about carrot dishes, but Cynthia's carrot dish has changed all of that for me. It's a whole new world. We've grown to love you and embrace your beautiful spirit and your steadfastness. No. Just kidding. It's evident that Joel and Cynthia love each other very much and that you will complement one another's strengths and weaknesses in various ways. Promptness, for instance. Joel, I'm really sorry that you were brought up in a household that struggles with punctuality. But this could be a whole new era for you. With Cynthia encouraging you to be on time.
You've been a good influence in him already. We went to his apartment, and it was in the process of becoming a different apartment altogether. Nice paint on the walls, and laid out a lot different. Things were a lot cleaner. And, thank you so much. And as I was leaving, I noticed, hey, whoa, look at the doormat. The doormat says on the inside, it says, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." I do not know where that came from, but I really like it. And I think it is good for a household. That is a verse that has carried me through since about 1988. That has been a verse that's not leaving me. That is a thing for me and my house. There's a big personal story behind that there. You are in good standing. If that means a lot to you, that's a powerful thing to take. Well, for me, it's been 30-something years, so you're in good stead with that verse.
So we just pray that you continue to grow both individually and together in life. And welcome to the family, Cynthia. We love you both so much, and now you have two families who will always be there for you.